So hello everyone, welcome to this webinar with ProThoughts. So the topic for today is related with PMP certification. So I hope many of you are PMP aspirants looking to go for PMP certification, or in the middle of it, preparing for it, or you are already certified. So um, you are somehow associated with PMP, right? Or planning to go for it. So that is my basic assumption. Okay. So what we will be talking about today in the next 1 hour is all the changes to the PMP certification program, which has been incorporated by PMI. Okay, in this year, what are those changes and how are they linked with the future, the upcoming times? Okay, so that is what we will be focusing on primarily. So before we get into this topic, let me see. Okay, fine. So before we get into this topic, just a little bit about myself, so you know whom you are getting the information from. So my name is Arvind Nahata. I can see quite a few familiar names here who know me, but for others, I've been working as co-founder, director, and partner with ProThoughts. I'm myself PMP certified, and I'm certified in few other project management certifications as well. Okay, like DSSM is a agile certification and all. So, and if I just need to quickly give you an overview, I did my bachelor's from Nagpur, post graduation from US, worked in US for almost a decade, then shifted back to India in 2011 for good, and worked for around 5 years in Accenture before joining ProThoughts full time since 2015. Since then, I've been with ProThoughts full time. Okay, so that's about me. And then I have conducted around 100 plus PMP workshops, 5,000 hours of training in project management across geographies. And then you can follow me on LinkedIn. I cannot accept your connect because I've maxed it out. Okay, so I have around 30,000 followers on LinkedIn. So I keep on posting a lot of things on project management. So you can benefit out of that. And so that's about it from my side. I'm also a PMI authorized instructor for PMP and DASM, disciplined agile as well. Okay, so that is about myself, and a little bit about organization ProThoughts. So ProThoughts is a global REP with PMI. 4032 is the PMI ID, and from this year onwards, we will just talk about those changes. That now its REP status has become insignificant, and more importance is given to the ATP program. Now, what do you mean by ATP? Authorized Training Partners. REP was Registered Education Providers. Name is different. It's just that ATP is a little more premium and it's more controlled by PMI. In short, that's what I need to tell you. Okay, so and we are also the official distributors of Rita Mulkey RMC publications in India. So we do provide a lot of project management books from Rita Mulkey for different courses, and then we operate out of two offices, one in Pune, one in Mumbai. Okay, we do conduct classroom trainings pre-COVID. Right now, because of the COVID, classroom trainings are not happening, but pre-COVID we were doing classroom trainings in 6 cities in India and in other locations outside India, Middle East, Southeast Asia, multiple locations. Okay, we have conducted around 10,000 hours of training, trained 5,000 professionals, and the courses that we offer: PMP, CAPM, which is Certified Associate in Project Management, Program Management, PGMP, CDA, DLSM are outdated courses. Now they are DASM and DASSM. Okay, and then non-certified courses like MS Project Tools training, hands-on training, and then several customized trainings which we do for corporates. So we are associated with 50 plus corporate clients across. We are also associated with several B schools. You can see the names. Okay, few are big names. So these are few of the prominent names. And then in the last 5-6 years, since 2015, we have got quite a few recognitions. Like the first one we got back in 2015 was CIO Review Magazine Times Group. We were considered among the top 100 startups in that year. And then Your Story was published in 2019. They published our story in 2019. So you'll find all these five recognitions across. And then on the right top side, you can see all the things that we do. So we are only in project management. That is one thing. Okay, so if you look at the right side top, We are primarily into, we started as a training institute and then we diversified into a one-stop solution for project management. A lot of things beyond trainings we do in project management. So trainings, classroom trainings, which is right now on hold since COVID, online training, which is the live sessions like this one, e-learning, self-paced learning programs, recorded videos are given to you and you can go through it, and corporate trainings. This is from the training point of view. Then we also help corporates implement project management software like MS Project, Primavera, Project Insight, Jira. You will find a lot of these names across being used in corporates. So we train candidates plus we implement those as well in the corporates. So project management softwares, not other softwares. And also we do provide advisory and consulting services in corporates. Okay, so and then beyond that, we just pre-COVID, we bought a platform called talkprojectmanagement.com, which we are developing as a content platform and an e-commerce platform. Okay, so that is where e-commerce platform means you will find all these books and exams, sample exams, and everything to do with project management in one place. It's like a mini Amazon. Okay. So this is what it is. So from a content standpoint, you will find blogs, articles, news, upcoming webinars, facts, surveys, a lot of these type of things about project management being there. Okay. This is what we started with when we started back in 2015. Okay. So one-stop solution for project management was our vision, and that's what we are working towards. So that was all about Arvind and Pro Thoughts. Now coming back to our topic today. So I'll take up all the queries at the end. So I can see a lot of people asking, typing questions in the chat box, which is not related with probably these sessions. So let me just complete this session. I'll try to complete it a little before 9 Indian time. Okay. And so I try to complete it in 40-45 minutes, and then I'll take up any queries. I'll just browse through the queries. After that, you can keep on typing in the chat box and I'll answer all those at the end. Okay. So let me complete the content first, and then we'll see how we can answer the questions. So the topic for today is, okay, let me go back here, is the 2 points. One, all the changes to the PMP certification program and how it is going to address the post-COVID era challenges so that you become equipped with all the things to face those challenges. Okay, so post-COVID era challenges, how PMP is suitable there. Okay, now first let's talk about the changes. So PMI actually brought about a lot of changes effective from January 2nd this year. Okay, first, before that, a lot of people have a misconception that PMBOK 7 is the change that has come up. No, PMBOK 7 is not yet out officially. Okay, PMI is still, PMI planned to launch PMBOK 7 last year in April. COVID happened, they postponed it to July. Still COVID prevailed, they postponed it to August. Then they postponed it to April this year, and then they have postponed it to August this year. And still I'll not be surprised if they postpone it to 2022. Okay, and when we said August this year, if they launch in August, the exams will be effective plus 6 months. So exams will not be based on PMBOK 7, at least in this year. Okay, so anybody who is planning to go for PMP, please, PMBOK 7 will be the state. PMBOK 7 is the guide based on which the exams will be there, at least in this year. Okay. Now, what are the pattern changes effective from January 2nd? So PMI changed a lot of things, like REP became ATPs, and that impacted us as institutes a lot, and the individuals like you as well. So let me talk about that. The changes are categorized into 3 ways: content, process structure, and syllabus. So 3 things you can categorize in which the changes happened. Okay, so let's talk about them one by one. So first, the content changes. Earlier, you as a candidate, when you used to take an exam, you were getting evaluated on 5 domains, and the number of questions in the exams were also linked with that old domains, 5 domains. They have changed the domains completely from those 5 at the top to the bottom 3. And the weightage of the questions have also changed. So this is one of the big things for you, and obviously for us as well, because we need to modify a lot of things internally on our side. Okay, Okay, but for you who are exam takers, the domains, the new 3 domains are mentioned below: people, process, and business. Okay, and if you see, the weightage of business is pretty less, 8%, but still that's a important part of the whole process. So domain change is one of the big things. Okay, entire syllabus, everything is now linked with these domains rather than the earlier 5 domains. That's one. Second, so second thing, I'll talk about it. On the right side, if you see the talent triangle, those 3 domains, people, process, and business, is what they are talking about in this talent triangle. Leadership is nothing but interpersonal skills, people management. Technical project management is nothing but process management, process, and business is nothing but strategic and business management. So they have put everything is associated now with this talent triangle. This is copied from the PMI website, the picture. Okay, so they call it as a talent triangle, PMI talent triangle. Okay, now, so that is one thing. Domain changed from 5 to 3. Second thing, very important point. Earlier, till last year, the entire syllabus was based on traditional approach to project management, which many of you probably call it as waterfall approach, right? Waterfall or traditional or predictive approach. I'm not getting into what it is, but now from this year onwards, 50% of the questions is now agile or hybrid, and only other 50% is traditional or predictive. So agile in a big way is now incorporated in the PMP syllabus. Okay, so that is one thing. Almost half of the question paper is linked with agile questions starting from this year. Okay, and then earlier we had the knowledge areas, the process groups, the tools and techniques, the ITTOs. Many of you probably call it as ITTOs in the technical terminologies. Those who are into the PMP will understand it. But now in the new pattern, now, so they are defining a lot of processes, and under each of these there are tasks and enablers. And see the definition at the bottom. What do you mean by a task and what do you mean by an enabler? Okay, so tasks and enablers for each of the activities, or for each of the I'll say line items that you need to do. So for all of those, they're defining the tasks and enablers. This tasks and enablers was not at all present till last year. This is a new addition. Okay, so agile 50% is one thing, domains from 5 to 3, that is the second big thing, and these tasks, enablers, and many, so there are many other small things, but major, these are the 2 major big things. Okay, now on top of that, a lot of things changed on our side. So now you need to understand how to decide which institute to go with. Okay, so earlier what used to happen was any institute could apply to PMI based on their credentials. PMI used to check and approve, and they used to become an REP, registered education providers. A lot of B schools, institutes, and training institutes, and other entities like corporate entities also, they were REPs. Okay, but now PMI is a little more strict. Earlier there were 3,000 plus REPs globally, which have reduced substantially. More than less than 1,000 now are the ATPs now. 1,000 plus have reduced substantially from that earlier count, because now PMI is being a little more strict. Because earlier, once you become an REP, like earlier when ProThoughts was an REP, we could decide who the trainers are going to be, what content we need to train the candidates based on, and everything. Okay, so we had a free hand completely to decide how to do the program, training PMP program. Study materials, the trainers, everything was driven by us. But now in the new pattern, effective from January 2nd, we just cannot use any of the training slides. PMI is giving us the slides and asking us, train based on this, number 1. Number 2, not anybody can be picked up and become a trainer. So any trainer who wants to be an authorized trainer with PMI, so they cannot apply themselves. They need to be associated with the ATP. So say for example, ProThoughts had 5 trainers for PMP earlier. So we applied with the resume of those 5 trainers to PMI. PMI approved only 2. So we only have 2 approved PMI authorized trainers in ProThoughts right now who are conducting the PMP programs. I am one of them, and we have one more trainer, Saurabh. So 2 of us are the authorized trainers in ProThoughts. So this is how how we are approved. So once our resume and all our profile is submitted to PMI, PMI says, okay, fine, these 2 trainers are okay. Then we had to go through a train the trainer program with them, and we need to clear an exam. Only after clearing that exam, we become a PMI approved trainer. So we have gone through that whole process, and now we are a PMI authorized trainer. So trainers are now controlled by PMI. The content is controlled by PMI, and even the ATPs are limited now because they have become much more stricter than how much they were with the REPs. That's why a lot of bad quality, I will say, are institutes who are not providing very good quality trainings. They have been left or out rejected by the PMI. So that way they're ensuring that the good quality trainings are only prevailing in the market. Okay. And one additional thing which they did is, you can see the name below, PMI Choice Platform. So PMI have created a platform called PMI Choice Platform. Okay, it's driven by Logical Operations. So they are tied up with Logical Operations who maintain it. So this PMI Choice Platform is a platform which is license-based access. So, and you cannot directly get the access. You have to come to the ATPs, and ATPs can get it buy those licenses from PMI and pass it on to you. So what is there on that platform? So one, a lot of agile content is available on that platform, because till now PMI has not provided any of the agile content in their syllabuses. PMBOK 6 has a little bit, but not enough to cover 50% of the syllabus, right? That's why you will find on the PMI Choice platform a lot of high quality videos. Then there is a 400 plus pages student manual, which is purely written from a agile standpoint, agile syllabus of PMP. Okay. And plus there are like some guidelines, pre-assessment, post-assessment. Before the training, after the training, you can evaluate yourself doing the pre and the post assessments. And the 35 PDUs which you get it directly on that platform. You don't have to come to us for that going forward. Once we give you the license and you complete the training with us, you just need to submit a survey to PMI, and based on that you get the 35 PDUs directly from PMI. We are not in the picture anymore. Earlier we used to issue that to you. Okay. So a lot of these type of things have changed in the new PMI platform. So basically, if you look at it, the content that candidates are getting, the trainers and the ATP programs, everything is now controlled much more effectively by PMI, which is good for the good quality training institutes, but probably not good for the not so good quality institutes. So this is a new structure implemented by PMI. Obviously, cost has gone a little up. Their charges has gone up and all, because quality comes at a price. Okay. This PMI Choice platform is also what you are getting. It is a mandatory thing because 35 PDUs is what you get there, which you will be needing anyways. Okay. And this is a 400 plus pages student manual, which is there on the PMI Choice platform. I've just copied the index here. Okay, so there are 5 lessons which we normally cover in our syllabus in PMP. Lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Creating a high performing team, starting the project, doing the work, keeping the team on track, and keeping the business in mind. So these are the 5 lessons which we cover in our PMP syllabus. And there are several topics under that lessons. So each of those topics also are talked in very detail. Think about it. 35 hours we are talking about just these 5 lessons and their topics. So each topic probably we are spending around 20-30 minutes. Okay. So that was all about the changes from the PMI. There are quite a few more changes as well, but in the interest of time, I only tried to cover the high level changes, major ones. Okay. So with this said, now next, let's talk about the next generation. Next, right? So post-COVID, now in the upcoming times, what are the challenges that we might face? First, work from home is going to become a new norm, right? A lot of corporates have realized, even ProThoughts as such, right? We have been working by physically going into the offices, and now everybody is working remotely, all our staff and everyone. So we are realizing that everybody can work from home. So why to? So a lot of corporates are not investing in the offices and everything, right? So they are, even employees are happy, employer is happy. Both the sides, it's a win-win situation, and corporates are realizing it is working. So work from home is going to be a new norm. Okay, much more work from home than before. Now, second thing, because of this COVID thing, challenges that people have faced, and the corporates have figured out their bottom line got impacted and all. So corporates will be expecting much higher productivity from their employees. They will want more capable employees who can deliver better value to the organizations, right? So more productivity will be affected. And that's why survival of the fittest is going to be one of the most challenging things going in the future. Jobs will be lesser and competition will be higher. So you need to be really very good to qualify for that post. So earlier, if there were 10,000 positions, that's probably going to reduce to 9,000 positions, right? And number of people applying is probably going to increase. So challenge is going to go a little higher. That's one thing. So that's why survival of the fittest is going to see the light of the day more aggressively now. And to survive in your job as well, couple of things that you need to know. One, with the same skills with which you were working physically in the office earlier will be expected while working remotely now. So you will be expected that you deliver the same and or rather better results while working remotely. That might lead to a bigger challenge to the employees. Expectations of the employers might be like that. And a lot of the things from a regulation, standards, regulations, governance, rules, norms, those things are going to, corporate policies will change accordingly. So you need to be showing flexibility to that. If you're not flexible, not adaptive to the upcoming changes, believe me, you are going to become obsolete. You will not be an employable candidate for the organizations. So to be stay employable, you need to show flexibility and you need to be adaptable to the changes that are coming your way. So governance, company policies, corporate policies, organizational policies, and government policies all can change for the employees as well a lot. So you need to be ready for that. And technological advancements, because you are working remotely, technological advancement, I don't have to say that you need to be comfortable using the tools and everything. Okay. And now the biggest thing with this COVID, a lot of new industries have seen a new big boom, or those industries which were not seen a boom have now seen a boom. Zoom is one of the big examples, right? E-learnings, e-commerce are the new examples. So a lot of new industries will see will see huge growth. At the same time, a lot of traditional industries might get into a death bell. Where so if you are belonging to one of those traditional industries which in the post-COVID times may not do well, probably it's a time to change. You need to think about it, about your future in that industry, right? If that's not going to be seeing a big growth in the coming days, in the coming years. So that is one of the things you need to understand in which industry you should be, where opportunities are more, growth is more, and which is seeing a growth curve on a higher side, upper side. So, and accordingly, you need to adapt to it. Okay. So these are the few of the challenges in the Gen Next post-COVID era. So how PMP certification fits well here? First of all, PMP teaches you and improves your skills in 3 areas, which you can see in the talent triangle, right? Interpersonal skills, technical knowledge, and seeing the big picture. Strategic or business management is aligning with the management, aligning with the big picture, seeing the big picture, strategic goals and all, right? That so those type of things. That's the third area. Second thing, adaptability. So PMP has been a big follower of adapting to the changes. All the things that you learn in PMP from a long time, PMP has been talking about tailoring and customizing things. Everything that you learn in PMP may not be applied in the exact same way. They tell you that this is what you need to tailor, this is what you need, this is how you need to tailor, and everything. So it just tells you shows you a path, and after that it lets you walk through the path. Somebody might run, somebody might do a brisk walking, somebody might walk. PMP is just showing you the path. After that, it's up to you how you walk the path. Okay, so that is what PMP helps you in, and that's where adaptability. It tells you also that when you face the problems, how to solve it and everything. So it helps you in adapting effectively to the changes. And PMP has been talking about since a long time about co-located work and remote working. Co-location and remote working. Co-location is also called as, means what we were doing earlier, physically going to the office and working together in one location. Co-location. Remote working is also called as virtual setup, right? Co-location or virtual location. So remote working has been already adapted into the PMP syllabus since a long time. It's a much matured approach to the virtual setup, which has been talked about in the PMP syllabus, and that can become a big benefit to the corporates going forward. And so if you become PMP certified, that's a big benefit you can carry to the corporates. Okay, and PMP always has been following a very professional approach to work, which in the going forward, because you are working remotely, that is supposed to be one of the, because you're not working, you're not meeting in person, so there is no comfort level created between individuals a lot as before, right? A new joinee whom you never meet, you have to be official with them, professional with it, right? So that's where the more professional approach to work is what PMP teaches. And it is a proven approach. All of these things, PMP has been a proven approach for a long time now, for decades now. I will not say years, for decades. So no chances of PMP principles, standards, and guidelines going wrong is almost zero. Okay, and now with the new times, what one you need to understand is expectations from the corporates is going to be the same, maybe a little more to deliver, but what will change drastically for you will be the constraints in which you need to deliver the same thing. Within the given constraints, maybe in the timelines, what you used to do it in 10 days, now they will expect you to do it in 8 days. So that's a constraint, higher constraint, right? Reduced time. So time could be constrained, budget could be constrained, quality could be constrained. So I'm not getting into those constraints. There are a lot of constraints, 7 constraints in ours in PMP syllabus that we talk about. So all those constraints, they are trying to make it more strict. So within the stricter constraints, you will have to deliver the same output. That is what is the expectation going to be. And that is what PMP teaches you. How to work around the constraints and still deliver effectively. And PMP also helps you in shifting industries, because PMP is not industry specific. A lot of people have a misconception. Oh, PMP is only for IT industry, only for technical people, only. PMP came into existence, PMI came into existence back in 1969 when IT was not even existing. So project management has been there even before IT, and all the PMBOK and everything that was written came out from traditional industries, manufacturing and construction. Almost, think about it, 1969, that's when PMI came into existence. So the first PMBOK was written, I think, in 1980s sometime. So IT was not even existing at that time, right? So gradually every industry, banking, pharma, IT, I see a lot of entrepreneurs, people from medical background, army background, doing the PMP certification, because PMP is a way of life. It's a life skill. A lot of things that you learn in PMP can be applied beyond projects, beyond industries, in your individual lives as well. There is a session that you can go through on YouTube. I conducted a 1 hour webinar, and I do conduct a half-a-day sessions for that as well, which talks about life is a project. Just search on Google, you will find it with my name or with this topic, and you will find it. Life is a project. So you can manage your life as well with these PMP principles if you have a good understanding of these PMP processes and principles. So PMP is industry agnostic. I know a lot of people who were able to shift industries because they were PMP certified, and they were not. I know a lot of people who come to do PMP because they want to move out of technical roles into management roles. And that's what PMP helps you in. And it has a global recognition, right? And now because of the remote working, global markets open up for you for working remotely with PMP certifications. Okay, so these are the benefits of PMP. See, I think I don't need to explain it. Sachin, previous slide. Okay, this one. Oh, sorry. Okay, so alternate source of income, Ashutosh, you can do a lot of freelancing activities. When I started with PMP, I was a salaried job and I started doing a lot of trainings. And if you go on freelancer.com and many of those websites, you might start getting small assignments. If you're PMP, probably chances of your billing rates will go high gradually. So there, if you're PMP certified, chances of getting job also increases, right? So either getting into trainings or getting into these portals like freelancer.com, there are many like that. Okay, and then you can also get associated with many of the project management institutes, project management one-stop solutions like ProThoughts. We are only into project management. So a lot of organizations are like that, who are only into project management. So you can get associated with them, like those who are PMP certified. If you have to get one more mock exams created, I'm not going to write those mock exams. I don't have the bandwidth for that. So probably I will be expecting somebody who can write it for me and get paid for it. So there could be many such opportunities that will come to you if you are PMP. You need to be socially active. Okay. Those of you who want to ask me a question, please, you can unmute yourself as well and ask me the question. So Prasanta, to pass the PMP certification, you need to enroll in one of our programs. Okay. So you can draw, if you're not aware, just you can message us. Let me just put the contact details on the screen here. Okay, so you can connect with us, WhatsApp us, email us, and we will be more than happy to tell you all the offerings for PMP and for the other courses as well. So Prasanta, Mike Griffith's book for ACP, yes, that's a very nice book. So we have it in stock. If you want it, you can buy it from us for ACP certification program. So we do sell it, only the books as well. So any of the books, any of the mock exams that you need, you can always connect with us for that. So Mike Griffith, so we import original books from RMC Publications, USA. So we have it in stock here. We do sell it on Amazon, but if you buy directly, you can get the price benefit. So 89760, that number you can see. On WhatsApp, you can message whichever book you want. We can send you the details. So for the tools, if I talk about, there are too many tools in the market. Okay, so a lot of people use MS Project because it comes free of cost with the MS suite of things for the corporates, right? So you will find many corporates just using the MS suite of things. But if you want to invest and get better results in the project management from budget, schedule standpoint and all, then there are too many tools available in the market based on your requirements, like Primavera, Project Insight, Jira, and there's around, I think, 10 to 15 tools available in the market like these. These are the 2-3 most important names that I just told you. Okay, and a lot of organizations have created their own in-house project management tools as well, project management softwares which they use. Okay, so that is another thing. And agile, for agile teams, there are a lot of them. Kanban boards, Kaizen boards, uh, several dashboards which they use it nowadays. So all these risk burn down chart is all inbuilt. All those things are Prasant is all inbuilt in that in these tools. It's just one of the features available in that tool. So Prasad, the deck cannot be shared, but the video can be shared. The link will be available. You can drop an email to info@prothoughts if you want the access to this recorded session. Okay, but the deck cannot be shared. It's a copyrighted thing. So Umesh, if you are already PMP certified, you can claim the PDU by going on to pmi.org, log in with your login credentials, which you might have created, and there you will. It's a pretty user-friendly tool. When you go to your My Profile, you will find you need 60 PDUs to renew, right? So volunteering opportunities, Ashutosh, for what? We do have a lot of, you will find a lot of guest speakers conducting webinars like this. You will find a lot of articles being written by a lot of people who are experts in their fields. Okay, so we do a lot of things. We are associated with a lot of project management experts. Many of them are PMP certified, many of them are other certificates certified like PGMP or agile certified folks. So you will find a lot of those individuals associated with us. Okay, so if you have something in mind how you can contribute, we will be open. You can always let us know. Okay, but the volunteering, like if something opportunity comes on our side, we do a approach to our alumni, existing candidates who have got trained from us and got certified. So they are the first point of contact whom we go to. Okay, no, these are only renewal PDUs, Prasad. You cannot use them for these are not contact hour PDUs. Contact hour PDUs makes you eligible for PMP, ACP, and other certifications. And renewal PDUs are only for renewing your certification. So these are renewal PDUs, what you are getting here. So Jia, changes to already certified PMP people, what does that mean? If I'm PMP certified, I did my PMP certification with PMBOK 4. Now PMBOK 4 to 5 happened, 5 to 6 happened, 6, and in 4 to 5, 5 to 6, between that 2 to 3 times several patterns also got changed. I'm still certified. This is like a medical degree, right? Once you become medical degree, a lot of research might happen in the medical science. But once you are a doctor, that's it. For your own say, you need to upgrade, keep on upgrading yourself with the new research in the medical science to stay competitive in the market. But once a doctor, you are always a doctor, right? You don't have to give the exam again with every change which PMI is bringing. But to stay competitive, you need to educate yourself and upgrade yourself. So for contact our PDUs, you need to enroll in one of our programs, Prasad. It's a complete package. You need to go through the training, take the exam, and then go through the training, and then only you get the contact our PDUs. So you can, for those, you can just send me the details on the contact numbers, all these contact numbers, and the info@prothoughts or the phone numbers which you are say. Message us your email address, and we'll be more than happy to send you the details on how to get the contact our PDUs. Exam fees is separate. You pay directly to PMI, not to us. So Javed, freelancing, a lot of opportunities are there. Means I told you about one, right? Freelancer.com. That's the simplest one that comes to my mind. Just search on Google and you will find a lot of websites. I am not doing freelancing for a long time, but I know a lot of people who actually do that. So that's why who become certified and do that. So just search on Google you will find a lot of opportunities, a lot of websites where you might have to create your account, update your profile and CV, resume and all details, and then start applying for the opportunities there, freelancing tasks. Initially your billable rate might be low, but more and more tasks you do, they do it based on ratings, and higher the rating, higher the bill, higher the per hour bill. Okay, so I cannot copy the email addresses from the chat here. So anybody who wants the details, please WhatsApp us on the contact numbers, and we will be more than happy to send you the details. Okay. So any questions, any further? I think I addressed all the queries. Just one poll that I would request all of you to take. Okay, I'm initiating launching a poll. It's a 2-minute thing, just 2 or 3 answers. Please quickly give it, and then I can display the results as well. Anyone needs any further information about PMP or opportunities in project management or anything to do with project management, any information that you need, please note down the contact information which is on the screen. That's why I'm keeping these contact details on the screen for a long time, so you can note it down. Okay, and you can reach us out by any of these means, and we'll be more than happy to send you the details. Yes, Jagmohan. You can unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Jagmohan, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Very exciting session. Can you just put the slide back again where you mentioned student manual? There were 5 lessons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Yeah, I think this is the one. Yeah, these are the new lessons, right? So 5 lessons. Can you what are these lessons? I mean, what is the context here?
This is what we teach for 4 days for 35 hours in the new PMP syllabus.
Oh, that is for new initiation, 35 hour contact hours. This is the syllabus for that, is it?
Right. This is the syllabus of the 35 contact hour training.
Okay.
Each of the topics under the lessons are talked about in detail.
Okay, so it is not oriented to earlier PMP process framework. Okay.
No, it is linked with the PMP process framework. So this is more aligned with the agile part of the thing, but based on this, we keep on jumping between the PMBOK and the student manual and explain you the context.
So is the okay? So the old material, whichever is available, is it still relevant or it is totally outdated? I mean,
that is relevant, but only for 50% of the syllabus, because now 50% agile will not be associated with it.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, got it.
Hello, Arvind.
Yeah.
This is Prashanta. Hi.
Yeah, Prashanta.
Yeah, just I have one quick question to you. See, I am trying to first I will try to complete my PMI SAP. Then the next step for the PMP. So PMI SAP course, you people, it is available in ProThoughts.
Right now we are not offering the training for that, but we have the study material, the book and everything, so that you can buy from us. And why we have stopped doing the PMI ACP course right now is because if you are planning to go for PMP, because PMP is covering agile in so much detail, ACP, and it does not make sense to do both. If you are doing PMP, then that includes ACP anyways, to a big extent.
But it will be tough for me, right? If I don't know the basic part in the theory part. So again, if I jump into PMP, what do you think? It will be tough for me, right?
Even ACP, if you do means ACP is also tough. It's not like within 2 days or 3 days you can do the ACP. That will also take you a month or so, right? So rather than putting the effort on ACP, if you plan to go for PM, see if you only want to go for Agile, then you might go for ACP. But if you planning to go for PMP later, then I will say you can skip ACP and directly jump into PMP.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
PMP anyways includes a lot of things from ACP. Major like 70-80% of ACP is included in PMP anyways. So why to invest effort, time and everything and money, everything for 2 certifications when PMP will give you that credentials of knowing Agile as well.
Okay. Okay. So that means anybody who is not PMI SCP certified, that person can eligible for the PMP certified, right?
Yeah, eligibility for PMP is only that you need to undergo these 35 hours of training, and plus you need to be working, you need to have a project experience of 4,500 hours, which is around 3+ years. That's all. Now, more the experience, easier it will be for you to crack the exam. Lesser the experience, if somebody with 5 years of experience in project come and try to do the PMP, it might take a longer time for him to crack the exam. Higher effort is needed. But if somebody with 15 years comes, probably half of the things he or she already knows. It becomes very easy for the experienced person to crack the exam.
So what would be the duration for PMP for the total preparation of the
Normally we suggest that it will take anywhere between 200 to 300 hours of effort to crack the PMP exam, including everything: the self-study, the application process, the mock exams that you will be taking, and if the scores are not coming good, then improving your scores. Everything inclusive is around maximum 300 hours, 200 to 300, because for less experienced people it will be 300 hours. For more experience it will be more towards 200 hours, and a little bit varies between individual to individual as well, right? Depending how much is your grasping ability.
Yes. So the Pro Thoughts conduct the PMP total preparations and everything.
PMP, we do everything. You just name it, and probably anything that you would need for PMP, we do offer. It's a complete package. We have multiple packages. You can take the most exhaustive package, which will by default include everything. You just cannot think of anything outside of that you might need for.
So just Arvind, I need to drop an email on the display email ID to get the further details and going ahead, right?
Yeah, either drop an email or a message on the WhatsApp on this number, your email address. Any one of the two things.
Hello.
Thank you, Arvind. Thank you. Nice. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Arvind. Ashtu this side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I'm PMP certified. I want to ask like there's like 60 PDUs I have to maintain.
Right.
The breakup is 35 for education and 25 for giving back.
Right.
So my question is, what is giving back PDUs?
Giving back means you need to give back to the project management society, right? You are if PMI, if you have become PMP certified, you should use that knowledge. Like this webinar, if I am conducting, I can claim this one PDU saying that I gave back to the community, project management community, with my knowledge.
How will I build it? Like,
there are a lot of ways. Okay, so you can write articles for us, blogs and articles for us, which we promote on our website. And for that, we can give you one PDU each for each of the articles. Similarly, there are a lot of guest lecturers who come and pick up different topics in project management and conduct sessions. And for that, they get one PDU each for 1 hour webinars. So there are a lot of different ways. These are the 2-3 common ways. Then creating content.
So my another question is like I have to maintain this PDU, 60 PDUs every year or like
every 3 years. Every 3 years.
Every 3 years.
Which is a good enough time. Believe me, I've never seen anybody struggling for 60 PDUs.
Yeah. Actually, I just certified, so I have like no idea like I do it.
Any other question? Okay, so let me just let me see, somebody is still raising the hands. Okay, original ones. Fine. So I hope everybody is. Let me end the polling, and then there are a few more questions also that I need to ask. You can see the results on the screen, and but in the parallel, Javed is asking, can you please suggest what next one should do from certification point of view after getting? So Javed, after getting PMP certified, you should apply that knowledge in your work, in growing yourself, in growing the corporate. If you grow corporate, corporate will help you grow as well, right? So, and plus at the same time, giving back to the community. Again, giving back will also help you creating your credential in the market as well, right? The day I became PMP certified, I wanted to use that knowledge in my own projects, beyond projects, in other things. That's why I got into trainings and all, started writing articles. Okay, from certification standpoint, Javed, after PMP, PMP is like a master's degree, right? After that, PhD. You might become expert in risk management. You might become expert in only agile. So you might go for a specific agile certification, maybe safe agilist, scrum master, disciplined agile. You can decide one of the agile, or you can say, fine, I'll only be an expert in schedule management professional. So you can go for SP certification. So there are a lot of vertical certifications in project management that you can do. PMP gives you makes you a jack of all, master in some. Now from that sum, you pick one or two. There are a lot of certifications. It's about your interest after that. No, not 4 days, Umesh. 4 days are full day trainings. If we talk about, I will say 35 hours training. 4 into 9 or 9 into 4. So we do a weekday training as well, which is 9-day training, 4 hours each. So there is a weekday batch, there is a weekend batch. Weekend batches are full day. Now, 4 days, 9 hours each. Okay, so I hope I answered all the questions. Yeah, so we do offer those as well, Vinay. So if you are looking for PGMP certification or PFMP, please drop a message and we will be more than happy to send you the details for that. Okay, we do conduct PGMP certification as well once a month. So any of the certification courses that you're looking, at least the PMI courses, other than the ECP, please drop us the details, message, and we will send you the further details. Okay, so I hope it gave you some information today, something added into your knowledge today. So thanks everyone, and I hope I see some messages from you with your queries and doubts. Okay, with that, I think I will close the session today. We are just what? We have 5 minutes, but I think with no questions. Jagmohan again raised the hand. You have any questions, Jagmohan?
Yeah. Thanks. Just one question: are these courses now 100% online, or we have started face to face? We're planning to start face to face.
So yes. So as I said in the initial few slides when we were talking about Pro Thoughts, right? That we used to do classroom trainings in multiple locations. Like I used to travel also a lot at that time. I used to conduct every weekends was occupied for the trainings and all. So I used to travel a lot, but since last 2 years, traveling has come down to zero because of COVID. So right now, at least till we are sure that COVID wave 3 is not coming in, we are not starting the classroom trainings again. So classroom trainings might start maybe October, November sometime, but right now everything is live online.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
We are also eagerly waiting to start that. Because believe me, it's very tough to conduct online sessions. It's much more fun to be interactive and meeting people in person and conducting the sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, Manish, you have some question?
Yes, I would like to ask one thing. I have already enrolled for the PMI membership, and I had also taken the PDUs for appearing for the exam. But due to some health reasons, I couldn't appear for the exam. I now plan to take the exam. I had when I had enrolled, this was late last year in the last quarter. This was PIMBOK 6 was the edition. So for how long is that edition still valid? I understand the 7th one is going to be launched in beginning August.
I told
So-
you that PIMBOK 6 is going to be valid till end of this year. Even if
Okay.
they launch it in August, it's not like today they launch and tomorrow the exams will be effective based on that. They cannot
Okay.
do that. They have to give a time during which the study materials get updated from all the institutes. Even PMI needs time to update that. Plus the candidates who are in the middle of preparation, they need to make sure that they take the exam in the existing pattern. Suddenly they cannot enforce them to go for a new one, right? So
Okay.
there will be normally with the history, every time a PIMBOK version has changed, like say for example, when PIMBOK 5 to PIMBOK 6 happened, PIMBOK
Yes.
6 became effective in March 26, the exams, but PIMBOK
Okay.
6 was launched in September last year. So September 2017, PIMBOK 6 was launched, but from March 26, PIMBOK 6 was effective.
Okay.
September,
means like,
November, September, I will not say
till-
October, November, December, Jan, Feb, March. 6 months they gave everybody the time to
Okay.
wrap
That
it.
means for my exam preparation, I can still continue to refer PIMBOK 6
Yes.
and all the other material. Just the
But
question
only
paper.
PIMBOK 6, but only PIMBOK 6 in the new pattern is not good enough. So you need to have some agile syllabus.
Yeah, I understand there are some new, the question paper pattern has changed. So
Right.
there are more
Pattern-
questions related
question
to
paper
agile.
pattern has changed, plus the content also has changed.
Okay. So, I mean, some additional study material will need to be added.
Right. So
Okay.
to answer to Binay's question, we are still training on the PIMBOK 6, but on the new pattern of PIMBOK 6. The pattern got changed from 2nd January onwards.
Okay, so where is this new pattern of PIMBOK 6 available? Is it available online?
Exam content outline is available on the PMI website. You can download it from pmi.org. And
Okay.
For all the rest, like I showed you that the student manual, 5 chapters, right? 5 lessons.
Okay.
That you need to buy separately.
Okay.
Or you can prepare based on the extension of PMBOK 6, which is the Agile Practice Guide.
Okay.
That is an alternate preparation.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other question? Okay, so if no questions,
Hello, can you hear me?
yeah, go ahead.
I believe, before they release the new pattern, exam on the new pattern, they will have a mock test, right? Or they were planning to have mock test when the COVID happened. I don't know what happened to that plan. They normally have a trial run of the test
Mock
on the new
test?
pattern, right?
Yeah, so mock tests are there.
No, for the new pattern, they normally have a trial run of test on the new pattern. Is that my understanding correct, or
No,
they're planning?
what do you mean by a dry run of a new pattern mock test? Mock test means they like till 31st December, the pattern was the older pattern. 1st January was a holiday, and from 2nd January onwards, the exams were all in the new pattern.
On the new pattern. Oh.
Yeah, so directly it was on the. There was no dry run or something like that.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank
Okay. Okay, so with that, I think I'll stop here. We have run out of time now. Okay, so thanks everyone for dialing in.